to study. Jnana yogi, sannyasi also, what do they have to do? Study. Jnana devatu kaivalyam. Kaivalyam means what? Moksha. Moksha is for what? Because of moksha is because of what? Jnanam. So these two, Bhagavan has given these two lifestyles. We saw in the Ishavasya Upanishad itself. These lifestyles were delineated, and there is a natural progression from one to the other. There's a natural progression from karma where one is keeping on doing things in the form of prayer and for the sake of growth, and growth will happen, and then the karma yoga would have fulfilled itself, and then one is ready to drop karma yoga and then go towards more of a upasana based life. And this upasana based life also, we have to then the person gives that up as well, and then what do? Take to a life of sannyasa. This is the progression that we have already seen. Yesterday we saw that. We also saw one more thing. We saw the whole nishtha. Nishtha means the nitaram sthitihi, a committed lifestyle. And we also saw how the Vedic lifestyle is just for the sake of knowledge. Vedic lifestyle is for the sake of achieving something right here, right now. That is what the Vedic lifestyle is. It is completely moksha geared. It is not based on afterlife. And we are not so much interested in afterlife. Afterlife is fine. Nothing wrong in afterlife. We have not just one, but 7 heavens. And then we have 7 other side also. 7 up, 7 down. We have. So all the lokas are there, various things are there, and everything is there. And then these, based on the actions here, one goes to various lokas, but nothing is permanent except the one who is saying nothing is permanent. You see, there is a very big clue right there. That which is permanent cannot be outside of you. And so this is the tradition where there is something to accomplish here and now. It's not about afterlife. If the point of life is afterlife, then why should there be this life? I can go from afterlife, previous life to afterlife to afterlife to afterlife. Then this life becomes like a bus stop. I'm waiting where the bus for afterlife is there, and I'm trying to catch a bus for the afterlife. So, therefore, we have to have the understanding here that since there is something to be accomplished here and now, therefore there is this life after life, this life and then karma yoga, and then this life called sannyasa. All these choices are presented here where the whole gamut of the human growth can play itself out. That is the idea. And so, answering Arjuna's question, he talks about these two lifestyles. And then further we also saw that you can't get moksha out of not doing actions. I am akarta. How? Because I haven't gotten out of bed yet. That's why I am still what? Akarta. You can't say that. That is not akartritvam, that is sheer laziness. There is a big difference between that. So you can't get up in a spate of tamas and depression and say, I feel like an akarta today. That is not akarta. So, and it's not realistic because the definition of karma itself is very interesting. What is the definition of karma? We have to see. And then there is kartritva buddhi is there. Whenever there is free will, then that means there is action. But I'm not doing anything. What are you doing? Simply sitting. Hello, simply sitting is what? An action or not? Yes. It does expend some calories. Not as many as you would like, but some calories are expended. No, I'm not sitting, I'm sleeping. These are all verbs. And verbs are conveying what? Action. Kriya padam. These are all verbs. And so simply sitting, sleeping, and I'm not making any choices, that's a choice. If you say I'm refusing to make a choice, you have made a choice. I'm going to let it default, that's also a choice. And so you nahi karmana anarambhat. By not doing karma, nobody has got moksha. Okay, I will ratify my not doing karma. How will you ratify that? Through sannyasa. I'll take sannyasa right now, and then what? Then I'm absolved of all karma, very easy. And then what will happen? I'll get moksha. No. Nahi sannyasanadeva siddhim samadhi gacchati. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Karyate hi avasham karma. Avasham means helplessly. Helplessly one does karma because one is in the matrix of not only time and space, one is in the matrix of these three gunas. What are they?
Sattvic, Rajas, Tamas.
Exactly. So in the spell of these gunas, the body and the mind sense complex is, and because of the spell of these gunas, what does that do? It makes one do things helplessly. Wait, I have perfected myself. Really? Yes. I have won over the gunas, or have learned to not heed the gunas, and I can just keep still. How long you want me to keep still? Tell me. So Pujya Swamiji would always cite the example of one Baba who used to sit on Lakshman Jhula in Rishikesh. And he would never blink and never move. It would look like a statue. Eyes would not close at all. Just like that, whole day. Just like that. And he had a hanky in front of him, hanky or a chaddar, and then people would put money there because they were all very happy and fascinated to see somebody who does not blink. And while telling this whole story, Pujya Swamiji would not blink. And then he would say, see, it's so easy, it's not that hard. See, even I have perfected this, he would say. I have also perfected not blinking, not moving. He said, kabhi kaam mein aayega. At some point, it will be useful. And what is that person? Is that person, does that person have what is called Naishkarmya Siddhi? Is that person a jnani who is naturally akarta, abhokta? No. कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमुक्तात्मा मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते. Karmendriyani samyamya, the organs of action, and the sense organs, the one who has the ability to control. Yaha aste. The person has managed to control everything and sit, and then what? The mind is active. Where should I go? What should I do? This person is not putting money on the blanket. What shall I do? How will I make them give money? What to do? All these things. Plotting. What shall I eat today? Where shall I go today? How shall I live today? What shall I do tomorrow? All this, the mind is not quiet, but is having a persona, a demeanor of quietude, and is just pretending. Yaha aste manasa smaran aste. The mind is active. The mind is not tranquil. And the indriyas, are somehow quiet, but the karmendriyas are quietened down, but the mind is still active. Such a person, Bhagavan has a epithet for them. Mithyacharaha sa uchyate. Mithyacharaha means fraud. The person is a fraud. Saint Kabir also said as much. माला तो कर्मे फिरे जीभ फिरे मुह माही मनुआ तो 10 दिसी फिरे यह तो सुमिरन नाही. Person pretending to meditate. The mala is going round and round in the hand. The tongue is going round and round in the mantra, in the mouth. And then what else? The mind is going round and round in 100 different directions. This cannot be called as meditation. Mithyacharasya uchyate. Why? Because we are here, the person has suppressed their urges but hasn't got over the urges at all. They have just suppressed their urges and they are continuing in the life, and this is not ideal. This is not what is called a quietened mind, etc. And so therefore Bhagavan scolds them. The first part of chapter 3 is a lot of scoldings from Bhagavan. Yes, we will see some choice words that are used. And then whereas when the mind is calmed and the mind is won over, the next verse says the person engages in karma yoga. Karma yogas. Now we know one more thing about karma yoga. Yesterday we saw the main points of karma yoga. One more thing we know about karma yoga is that where the practice of karma yoga, what is the purpose? To calm down the mind. To calm down the mind. And so therefore what? Niyatam kuru, we'll chant that. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo hya karmanaha sharira yatra pijate na prasidhyeda karmanaha. Keep doing the karma, Arjuna. Niyatam, always. Why? Because it is better to be engaged in action. If you are not a sannyasi and if you are not a jnani or a sannyasi wanting to be a jnani, what are you? Just a karma yogi you are just trying to, not even a karma yogi, you're trying to be a karma yogi. And then so don't get on a hobby horse and say I'm already reached. And they always look up for some reason. I've reached. Yeah. And then I've reached there and there's nothing more to do. And then you don't put this pressure, this enlightenment pressure on yourself. Nobody cares whether you are enlightened or not. What they care about is whether you are a decent human being or not. Whether you can get along with people, whether you are giving, whether you are compassionate. That's what makes more of a difference. So there is no pressure to show off here. The person who doesn't have the pressure to show off and the person who is free internally, that is the person who has gained mental tranquility through meditation and karma yoga, a certain kind of an acceptance in life. That is the person who is who is well on their way to moksha, preparing for moksha. Therefore, keep doing karma. Karma jyayaha, more superior. Then what? Akarma. Then whatever you think is non-doership and not doing, you don't fall for that. Do action. Why? Because this jivana, this life is a yatra. Te sharira yatra api, your journey of life also requires the karma to upkeep this body, mind, sense complex. The body has to be bathed. You can't say I am akarta, I'm never going to have bath. Why brush teeth? Why have bath? Yeah. You can't do that. And there are some people, there was one Baba somewhere, and they said he's so advanced, he doesn't eat at all. And the two women, one from this side and one from that side, had to feed him. Nicely, he would open the mouth. Yeah, he had no problem with that. And then this side, one side roti, sabji, another side something to drink. He was given buttermilk and all this. And he would take a sip. This side, he knew how to move the head. He knew how to eat and everything. And then when he was full, he could just simply, just like a normal human being, say, thank you very much, I'm full. No, he would take it in and then dribble the food from the side of his mouth, and then they had to come with the towels and hankies and so much hanky-panky. What is this really? Who is this performance for? This is what Lord is scolding here. Mithyacharasya uchyate. Just be normal. Be a regular person. Be a regular human being. You don't try to, get to the place. Some kind of idea one has that I have to get to this place. And what is that place? Akarta, abhokta. And what is the quick recipe for akarta? Stop cooking. Yeah, stop cleaning. Yeah. Who is going to bring you food? Nobody. And so therefore, Sharira Yatra, this body has to be taken places, it has to be kept clean if you want friends, okay? Yeah. And if you want people to talk to you, that's why it is Nitya Karma. So to clean the body, clean the mouth, everything, you have to do that. Otherwise, Drishtaphala is what? Nobody will want to sit next to you. And that is the Drishtaphala, immediate result. And so therefore, even for the journey of this body, you have to upkeep this body. Some karma is required. So akartritvam is not literal akartritvam. Akartritvam is an attitudinal akartritvam through the knowledge that I am Atma, which is naturally akarta. And what am I? I'm an as though doer. You don't stop doing. And this is again, people get into all this. I'm not pursuing moksha. Why not? Because somebody has to keep the samsara going. And so therefore, what are you doing? I have self-appointed myself as the caretaker of the Srishti. How will progress take place if everybody gets enlightened? This is, I'm preempting one more satsang question. Yeah, if everybody gets enlightened, then what? What will happen to progress, material progress on the earth? Everybody will be sitting in a cave, and nobody will be doing anything. What will happen to the progress? Whatever is happening right now, you call that progress? Our ancestors were much better off. Wherever you look, you see, if you look at the news, it is always bad news. You never get any good news. Somewhere there is war, somebody is killing somebody has abducted somebody has defrauded somebody. This is what it is. And you think, no, it's just a few days, little later it will be all right. Pujya Swamiji did this experiment. He found himself becoming a news junkie. He would always go, he would just finish his chores as a brahmachari and rush to the place where they would keep the newspapers. 2-3 newspapers the ashram would buy, and it would be sitting there. And in those days, no TV and all. So he would just read the papers in the afternoon. Then one day he told himself, this is so depressing. Why am I just depressing myself? Consciously. Happily I came here and now sadly I'm going back. This is not nice. Why should I expose myself to this? Let me just go on a newspaper fast. For 1 year, he did not go there. He did not read the newspaper at all. And then after that 1 year anniversary of no news fast was there. The next day, he picked up the paper. And then what were the headlines? Some war somewhere, some arson, some fire, somebody kidnapping somebody else, somebody robbing somebody else. Same thing, somebody defrauding somebody else. The news cycle has not changed. And so it is incumbent upon ourselves to see that this mind is the one that has to be kept tranquil. And that is the sadhana behind Karma Yoga. And that is the Antaranga sadhana here. And so therefore, if I do whatever I am doing, but with the attitude of self-growth and an attitude of what is going to be taught from the 9th to the 16th verses, an attitude of yajna. What is this yajna? Sacrifice, fire sacrifice ritual. If you have ever, what is that called? Prepared for a yajna, you know how exhausting it is. You have to get everything. You have to get firewood. You have to get all these things. You have to prepare. You have to call the people. You have to do the mantras. Get everything ready ahead of time. All this. And after that, the cleanup is terrible because we are not doing Japanese style yajna. Yeah, very nice. I saw this. Some spiritual leader came when I went to Japan, and they said we will have a yajna. And I'm confused because it's a small place. I didn't see any kind of anything there for like a little place to put the fire. Then I thought maybe it's outside. Then I went outside. Nothing was there. And then I said, is there a homa? Yes, there is homa. Homa, yes. I said, where is the homa? You sit right here, it will be there. Now I was very intrigued. So then they got a toy fire thing, kindler, tiny, just like a toy one, which children would play with. And then these sticks, tiny sticks, all the same size, all nicely cut and everything. And the lady just arranged 4 or 5 of those. And one tiny lighter, it was all bonsai homa. All tiny. And that ghee container was so cute, tiny little thing with a spout like that. And then she would just pour, a few drops, that's all. And then after that, the cleanup was a breeze, nothing. I said, this should be introduced to India. But Indians will never accept. They like big things because they want the punya. Small homa, what do you get? Small punya. Big homa, big punya. And then at some point she said, we are putting this, offering that. Tiny laddus. She put some small things. And then she said, we are offering vastram to the deities of the fire. I said, where is the vastram? How will you put vastram? It's a tiny little piece of cloth. Just, 1 inch by 3 inches. Yeah. And that very nicely, it was done. And then after that, there was nothing to clean up. Now we are going to offer flowers. And the flowers is just 1 flower. That's all. 1 flower, enough. Done.
Manisha, look at this, Manisha.
They are objecting it.
Yeah, please mute yourself. I had muted everybody. No problem, we will do it again. Yes. All right. So we are, it's all, what did I call it? Bonsai homa. That's all it is. It's a bonsai homa. Now, the beauty about the homa is the attitude. The attitude is that it is so sacred and it's going to nurture me. The effects of the homa are going to heal me. They're going to nurture me right now, right here. And then in the afterlife, in the next life, they're going to give me sadgati. I'm going to be in a better place in the afterlife also. If I was supposed to be in Pitraloka, I'm bumped up, upgraded to Devaloka. All these beliefs are there. Of course, all of them non-verifiable, but nonetheless they are there because they are there in the Veda. And so for the yajna, one will do anything. Anything one will do. This is even now in contemporary times. This is what it is, not only in India, but anybody who has heard of yajna, they take it very, very seriously. Because it is a serious affair. It is just an important thing. So then, yajna means it's a prayer. In the olden days, they did not have idols, they did not have icons, nothing. The fire itself was the carrier of all your wishes and prayers to various devatas. Agni Bhagavan was the mail carrier, and he would give all your pranams to various devatas and your lists of this is what I want from Indra, this is what I want from Vayu, this is what I want from all these devatas. He would take and give the message and bring back the punya also. This was the belief. So when I do something as an act of prayer, then it is not binding. Why? Because the will is free. I'm not commanded to pray. I pray out of my own well-being. Out of my own well-wishing place, I pray. And so, anything that is done in a spirit of yajna, sacrificial prayer for the well-being of humanity, etc., that kind of karma does not bind. Here Lord Krishna is at his best. Whereas anything done for my own sake will definitely bind. Therefore what? Elevate every action that you do to the level of a homa. When you're taking care of home, it is not home, it is homa. You're taking care of homa. That's how you have to do it. Anything that you do it prayerfully. First, every action becomes an act of prayer. This is one more point in the discussion of Karma Yoga. Then after that, what happens is that my attitude towards all the actions is what? Prayerful. So from being a person who prays, which is a discrete action, I become a prayerful person. What is the difference? My attitude is that of Shraddha, reverence, and that attitude is infused for every action that I take. So, my attitudinal change I undergo by looking at everything as a big yajna. Springtime is a yajna. The colors are offering themselves and sacrificing themselves up. Summertime is a yajna with all the various fruits that come. Winter is also a yajna. It helps us to go within, deep within. And so the seasons are the yajna. Rivers are flowing, that's a yajna. And sun is shining, that's a yajna. The whole universe is participating in the yajna. Only one person is left out. Who? You. This human being, this extremely stubborn human being who will not learn the steps of the dance. Just won't. What does it cost to do a few steps? No, I don't like this dance. Why? I'm by myself. I have my own groove. I have my own move. And then sit and cry, I'm far away from Ishvara. I don't know, I'm so lonely. Who asked you to go away? Nobody asked you to go away. But this is the human being. First, let me out, let me out, let me out. No structure, nothing, no. I'm my own person. How is that going for you? I'm lost. I'm lonely. Tell me what to do. So, by an ingenious method, the Lord says, do everything. Whatever is done binds because there is an agenda behind it, except that which is done in the spirit of yajna. When something is done as a prayer, then it's an offering to the person for whom you are serving. It's an offering. You see the Ishvara in them and then you do your duty. It's an offering. You don't want to do it. You just don't want to do it, but you still go ahead and do it because it is the right thing to do. And even if it's maybe there is no right or wrong, but you are in a place to do it and you do it. And that becomes an offering. And that prayerful offering leads not only to your growth, but to the balance and the well-being of the entire universe, for which you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility. No, I don't have a responsibility. I was just born and that's all. I have my own independent life. Why should I worry about where the universe is going? And if that is the attitude, Bhagavan has a few more scoldings for you. They will all come in the next verses. That attitude has gotten us into samsara, deep into the entrails of samsara in the first place. That is the attitude. I am alone. I am my own person. I have my own rules. This is not good for me. That is not good for me. I want this. I want that. There is so much I everywhere. And that is what has gotten us into this mess, because we are unable to see Bhagavan in all our doings. We are unable to see the beat. We are unable to see the dance of the Lord, the Goddess. Forget keeping in step with that, being in tandem with that is a great blessing. But we are even unable to discern that. So loud is this, the voice of this I and me and mine, and this is how I am. Preempting that, the Lord says the following: Yajñarthat karmanaha anyatra lokaha ayam karma bandhanaha tadartham yajñartham kuru karma kaunteya mukta sangaha samachara. Arjuna, learn to behave. Samachara is behave properly. Examine your conduct, because you are the only one. You don't like the war. What are you saying? I'll take my arrows and go home. Therefore, this is what he is saying. I didn't ask for this war. I didn't create this war. I don't want to kill my own people. Therefore what? I'm going to go home. I don't like what is happening, so I'm going to withdraw. I'm not going to participate because I don't want it. What kind of a thinking is this? It is a zero thinking, no thinking actually. No thinking has gone into this, and it's just some kind of a inflated ahankara, which is actually very lonely because it has nobody to play with. Maybe a few people, maybe it will start a support group because misery loves company. And so some support group of all the people who want to do their own thing. That's all that is possible. No redemption here, no learning, no sacrifice. Whenever there is a sacrifice, there is a growth. You don't want to do it, you don't want to participate, yet you do. And then there is growth. That is something which is what is being talked here. Do all the things here in a spirit of yajna, not for your own sake, but because it is the right thing to do. Do it in the spirit of yajna, and then any other action which is not done in the spirit of yajna binds. But any action done in the spirit of giving and prayer frees. Therefore, Arjuna, learn to go with this program. See the presence of Ishvara in your everyday life. There is Ishvara in all the blockages. There is Ishvara. There is Ishvara in the obstacles. There is Ishvara in every single aspect of your everyday life. So therefore, the choices that you make and the kinds of actions that you engage in and the kinds of action you desist from engaging in become very, very important. Because you're not alone on this path. You were just not, dropped from the earth, from the sky onto the earth. Even before you were born, somebody claimed you. This is going to be my child. This is my child, somebody said. Somebody said, this is my grandchild. Somebody said, this is my nephew, my niece. You were already born related to a family, to a clan, and to a wider web of connections, to a community, to the world. And wherever there is a relationship, there are what are called duties. We don't call them obligations. We call them duties. And those duties are important. Because when they are done prayerfully, they yield a lot of dividends. It's a win-win situation. The person who is entitled to that duty feels happy. He did the right thing by me. She did the right thing by me. They feel happy. Not only that, because you did it in a spirit of giving, you have growth. You have grown. It's a win-win situation. And if you don't understand this, then one is a loser. I'm not saying that. Krishna is going to say that. Krishna is going to say that in so many words. And so that's the 9th verse. That in the whole world, any action that is done without the spirit of prayer is binding. Therefore, do everything tadartham, yajnartham, from the spirit of prayer and sacrifice, do it. And then that only will free you from all these needless connections. And then we have from the 10th verse onwards, we have a very beautiful piece on cosmic ecology. Very nice. Saha yajñāh prajā sriṣṭvā purovaca prajāpatihi anena prasavishyadhvam eshavostvishta kāmadhuk devan bhavayatānena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantah श्रेयः परमवाप्स्यथ इष्टान् भोगान् हि वो देवाः दास्यन्ते यज्ञभाविताः तैर्दत्तानप्रदायैभ्यः यो भुङ्क्तेस्तेन एव सः यज्ञशिष्टासिनः सन्तः उच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापाः epachantyatmakaranat. This much one topic, so we'll stop here. Okay? Yeah. So, where was the spirit of giving and being? How was it taught? It was taught in the Vedas itself. Along with the people came the instruction booklet of how to live. That is the Veda, the first portion of the Veda. It teaches you how to behave appropriately in all situations. It's a very important teaching. How to give, all that we don't know. Everything is taught in the Upanishad and in the Veda. Hriya deyam, bhiya deyam, samvida deyam. Give, how to give modestly. And then give with respect. All these things. Give more than you can give. Somebody asked in one satsang, somebody asked Pujya Swamiji, how do I know I have given enough? Does it hurt after you give? No, then you haven't given enough. It should pinch. You should, after giving, if you feel, I think I overdid it. I think I shouldn't have given so much. When you feel that, that means you have given. Yeah. And that pinch is the growing pain. It's the pain of growing out of that feeling itself. So all this is given in the Veda. Saha yajñāh. Yajna here is Veda. Now don't think of yajna, what earlier that was prayer, that sacrifice, that's different. Sahi yajñāh prajaha people. Srishtva, having created, Lord Brahmaji, Prajapati, said, Anena prasavishyadhvam. This is not a book of instructions. Don't reject it. Don't say, I don't want to go around with the Vedas. I don't have any Shraddha. I don't have Bhakti. I don't even know how to say Yajur Veda, Rig Veda. I don't know what's in it. It's not pertinent to me. Don't throw away the book. Because it is not a book. It is teachings. What kind of teachings are they? These teachings are a wish-fulfilling cow. It's not a book. It's a kamadhuk. Kamadhuk means it's kamadhenu. It's a wish-fulfilling cow. If you lead your life according to the Vedic instructions of what to do, when to do, how to do, what not to do, how not to do, when not to do, then what happens? You see what is good for you. You see that immediately. When you look at this, it may seem like a huge set of instructions. But when you look at those instructions, they are very commonplace. They are all samanya dharma. Do unto others what they would want you to do. What you want to be done for yourself, you do to others. What you don't want them to do to you, you don't do to them. This is really what it is. It's just common sense. And Veda has made that common sense a much more sophisticated document. Anena prasavishyadvam. Multiply with this. Meaning, teach your children and their children and their children. Nourish yourself with this Veda. Veda here, not a book, but all the instructions, everything that it says. Nourish yourself with this. What is this? This is a wish-fulfilling cow. How is the Veda a wish-fulfilling cow? Because it is all the answer to people's desires. The first portion of the Veda, whatever you want, is converted into a prayer so that you can train right here. You train the ragadveshas and you make them into objects of prayer. It's amazing, very, very amazing. And then, Ishtan bhogan dasyante yajna bhavitaha. So those devatas who you have invoked, they give, because this is karma phala. They give. Dasyante, they will definitely give. It's the law of karma and karma phala. You do the prayer, you get the results of the prayer. And then what do you have to do with whatever the results are? You share. You don't start taking it on your own. Somebody helped you and then you pay it forward. You keep this cycle of giving going. You have no right to stop this cycle of giving. Somebody gave to you. The devas gave to you. Don't say it's my own work. It's my own. I did the homa. Who is you? My body, mind, sense complex did the homa. Did you make your own body, mind, sense complex? No, that was given. Okay, then keep quiet. With my own buddhi, I did the homa. Did you make the buddhi? Did you make your brains? No. Not even your mother made the brains. If you go and ask her, she's available, you can go and ask her, Mom, did you make my brains? What will she say? I wish I had, so you would not ask these kinds of silly questions. That's what she will say. You didn't make your brains, you didn't make your kidneys, neither did the mother make the kidneys, nor the father made the kidneys. How the baby grows is a miracle. It's all given. It comes out ready-made. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And we don't have anything to do with it. And so everything is given. And with what is given, if you are not able to see that, first of all, you don't consider yourself blessed because of what is given, and then you don't share it, you don't pay it forward. You are a thief. Even if you don't participate in this giving, you are still a thief. I'm not saying, but I told you Bhagavan will scold. He's scolding right now. Taihi dattan, given by them. Who? The devas. Apradayabhya, without giving it forward, without sharing it, without extending that kindness that was given to you, without extending that forward. The one who leads the life, what will Bhagavan call them? Read that. Stena. Stena means thief. Stows away things for himself, herself. Cannot share. Takes away what somebody has worked very hard to do, takes it away without any conscience. And so, yaha bhunkte, the one who consumes without giving back, without acknowledging that the whole world is participating in this dance of a beautiful cosmic dance of sacrifice, such a person is called a thief. Stena eva saha, only a thief, nothing else. And then the next verse says that the dharmic people, on the other hand, what do? They see everything as prasada. Because after doing the yajna, whatever is put into the yajna, whatever is remaining, you eat as, after offering, you eat as prasada. This is a metaphor. Everything in the world is what? Prasada. It has come back from Bhagavan. In that spirit, when I take it, it is prasada. So those who see everything as a prasada of prayer, they are freed of all kinds of, the heaviness in the heart, all kinds of conflicts, all kinds of challenging situations, because they are leading their life in tandem with Ishvara's order. And Ishvara's order is this dance of giving. Giving doesn't always mean money. It could be your time, it could be a gesture, it could be anything. And so, the one who rebels against that is what happens? They also eat. The one who rebels against that, they on the other hand, first line is the one who goes with that. The muchyante sarva kilbishaihi. They are freed of all karmas, all papas. And then the next line, those who just ye pachanti, those who just cook for their own self. Cook here is upalakshana. Upalakshana means metaphor. And it starts with the understanding that in every household in ancient India, even now, if there are 4 people, you make food for 5. One extra person's food should be there. In fact, you're supposed to go out and call whoever wants to come. You can't do that in Pittsburgh, okay? Who wants to eat? Look to the left, look to the right. Please come. Nobody will come, okay? In fact, even if they come, they will put a police complaint on you. I don't know why they are dragging me in their house. I don't know what they are feeding me. I'm being abducted. Help. These are different times and different place, but we understand the spirit of it. What is the spirit of this? The spirit of it is that you share. You're always ready to share. You share. And that's why you cook for one extra person. But here is a situation where the person has just cooked for 2, for themselves and their spouse. That's all. And from his childhood, the Pujya Swamiji would tell one story. So this couple were always, they flouted the law, the rule that you should call a person from the street. In those times, people used to come. Even now in rural area, it's very easy to get somebody and feed them. So these people said, no, we don't want the hassle of inviting a brahmachari or somebody. No, we are going to just cook for ourselves. So 2 small pots, very deliciously she would cook, and they would just, and they would go out and say, you're supposed to shout, is anybody there? Koi hai? Is anybody there to eat? She would go out and say, is anybody there? Is anybody there? Of course, nobody would come. Quickly close the door, and she and hubby, her husband and she would sit and eat. This is what they would do. And one brahmachari was very clever. He said, I've eaten in all homes except in this house. What is it? They're not following the law or what? He said, let me go and take a closer look. So he hid right underneath the door, right next to the door. There is a little place, to keep the shoes and all. He hid there under that. Under the porch he hid. Is anybody there? Yes, I'm here. Ayyo, how did this happen? Where did this fellow come from? The husband is very annoyed at the wife. I told you, low tones. And she said, they made him sit down and said, time out. And they went into another room. He said, we don't even have food to feed him, only for two people. For only two people I have made ragda patties. And for only two people I have made bhel puri. And all the delicious things. What to do with him? Can't, And the husband says, I told you to just... I whispered, I can't go lower than that. Where this karma has come from. And the husband says, don't worry, I have an idea. These pesky brahmacharis, they also have their own rules. They are not allowed to eat in a family where there is a fight. How about I beat you, and how about you cry in this other room only, and then he will go away. And so he takes a piece of bamboo and hits the ground. Take that, you stupid woman, take that. And she cries, ayo, 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 ayo. Stop, don't beat me, don't hurt me. You are a terrible husband. I never knew you were like this. If we had known you were like this, my parents would have never married me to you. And the brahmachari says, ayo, with great difficulty I got entry into this place. And now what? They are fighting. I have to leave this place. Then he leaves, and as he is leaving, he's like, wait a minute, they were so loving with one another. How suddenly this fight came? Let me just observe. He's just standing there. Then they slowly open the door. He's gone, darling. The husband says, oh, yippee. Then they sit down to enjoy the food. And he says, how I beat you really without beating you? And then she says, that's nothing, how I cried without crying. And the brahmachari comes inside and says, how I left without leaving. Feed me now. So, ye pachanti what? Atmakaranat. Those who live only for themselves, and those who say, this is what I want and this is who I am and this is not, there is no place in my heart for you. There is no place in my heart for your expectations, your nothing. This is all is there for me. Me. And then, bhunjate. They are also eating. Oh, they are eating their food? No, they are eating papa. They are eating papa. They are not eating the food. What are they eating? Papa. So from me, we have to go to we. That is the idea. And then, so this is verse 13. And then there is a beautiful dance that is described in verse 14. And then the food is there in the universe, and that food nurtures all the beings. And then and then how does the food come? From the rains the food comes. And then how did the rains come? The rains came from prayers for the rains. Yeah, we pray for the rains. In every culture, in every indigenous culture, there was some kind of rain god and rain person, rain man, medicine man, somebody was there. We also pray for rains. In fact, there's a whole ritual for rain called Kariri. And one German researcher did this to find out whether it will rain or not. He went to the desert, and in the summer, in June, he did this 9-day ritual. It rained. Even when it was not supposed to rain, it rained. Then he went to the rainiest place in India called Cherrapunji, somewhere in Assam. And then on the only day where it was supposed to dry, he went there and made it rain that day also. He was not very popular with the locals after that. Their one shopping day, what did he do? Made it rain. And so like this, it works. He said, I don't know how it works. He was some kind of a physicist. He says, I don't know how it works. He says, I give up, but it works. And so the rains come from what? Parjanyat anna sambhavaha yajnat. Yajnat bhavati parjanyaha. And then, and where does the yajna come from? People's karma. People's karma gives rise to the prayers. Prayers gives rise to rain. Do you see the cycle? Rain gives rise to food. Food gives rise to the nurturing of all beings. And then further, and where does karma come from? Karma comes from the ability to do karma, which is from Bhagavan, from Brahmaji. And then Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. Brahma comes from Brahmaji comes from Brahman. And therefore, this Brahman is where? Always ever resting in the spirit of sacrifice, and this whole cycle of giving and this cycle of interdependency, not codependency, interdependency, which is the dance of Ishvara, where every aspect of this interdependency is honored. Itself in its own right is a prayer. 16th verse. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayah aghayurindriya ramah mogham partha sajivati. More scoldings by the Lord. Yeah. Evam pravartitam chakram. This beautiful cycle. There is a chakra there. What a lovely cycle this is. Rains are part of this cycle. I am, this body, mind, sense complex is a part of this cycle. I am not away from this cycle. Rains are part of the cycle. Food is part of the cycle. Other beings are part of the cycle. Animals are part of the cycle. Trees are part of the cycle. Rivers are part of the cycle. Mountains are part of the cycle. Even cockroaches are playing a role there. Everybody has a role. They're all part of the cycle. And then I go, what? I want out. I want out of this cycle. Why? Because I'm bored. I don't want this cycle at all. I want out of this cycle. And then therefore what? What will happen as a result? Nothing. They won't miss me. Nothing will happen. I can withdraw and then it'll be all fine. It may look like that, but there are consequences. Lord Krishna says that person is aghayuhu. One, what is that curse word in Sanskrit? Many curse words are there. These are all Sanskrit 4-letter words, okay? Aghayuhu. Aghameva ayuhu yasya saha. Aghayuhu. Agha means papa. Agham is the papa. And the one who is a Purnavatara of Papa is a complete avatara. The embodiment of Papa is called Aghayuhu. No matter what they do is Papa, because they have not participating in Ishvara's yajna. They are not participating in this wonderful cosmic cycle that is already there. You are already plugged in. And with great difficulty and effort that it takes, you have plugged yourself out. There is a disruption. There is a rupture. A needless rupture is created when it is not needed. And in creating this needless rupture, you have disturbed the entire situation. The whole cycle is disturbed. Oh, but it's just silly old me. I'm not a big person. I'm just a small fry in the universe. Nobody even knows I exist. Wrong. That may be your belief. But in Ishvara's eyes, every single being matters. You matter. That's why you have this body. That's why you have been given this mind. That's why you have been given that's why you belong to a particular place, a particular country. You belong. And in this belonging, there is a set of expectations, there is a set of actions, and all this is there. And when you pull yourself out of this cycle of belonging on the empirical level, then what happens? You are incurring papa. The only person who is away from this cycle is the jnani. The jnani also does not disrupt the cycle. The jnani may not participate in the cycle, but will not disrupt the cycle. That is very important. Aghayuhu, first four-letter word. Aghameva ayuhu yasya saha, then indriya ramaha. Indriya ramaha, the one who only lives for the sake of their own revelry and sense gratifications. And then finally, mogham sajivati. Their whole life is useless and it does not matter at all. Mogham partha, hey partha, mogham sajivati. That, oh Arjuna, their whole life is useless. Useless. And the 17th verse, very quickly we'll see, we'll stop there. Yastvatmarit ratire vasyat atmatriptascha manavah atmanyeva cha santushtah tasya karyam na vidyate. Here the jnani is absolved of participating in the cycle by Lord Krishna and by the Vedas themselves, because all this participation is needed until Atma Jnanam takes place. There are responsibilities, there are expectations, there is a cycle, there are duties. After Atma Jnanam takes place, then there is no reason to participate. When the person has this knowledge, Atma Ratihi means the person only rejoices in the self, is satisfied in the self, Atma Triptaha is contented in the self, then Atmani eva santushtaha, whose contentment comes only from the self, there is nothing more for them to be done. Why? Because they don't need to grow. Other people in this cycle, what is the purpose of this cycle of interdependence? Is for one's own growth. And for the person for whom the cycle is not relevant is for the person who has used the cycle to grow and has dropped out of the cycle because it is no longer relevant. For the rest of the people, it is very much relevant. All right. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. We won't have satsang tonight. So if people want to visit temple or do something, you have a free weekend evening. Okay.